Hump Day Hot Topics are here with Whoopi, Sarah Haynes, Joy Behar, and Sunny Hostin. Now, let's get things started.
The latest cover of Sports Illustrated has a lot of people kind of scratching their heads. It features superstar players who are united in protest, but omits the man who started this in the first place, Colin Kaepernick. Of all people, why leave him out?
He's like the figurehead for this whole movement.
He started it in 2016. I think that the movement has been co-opted somewhat by not only the president, but by the NFL, because the movement was supposed to be about racial injustice. That's what Colin Kaepernick was protesting, not the flag, not the country, not the military. Now it's become sports unity. And I think it really does a disservice to what Colin Kaepernick and the other 35 some odd players that were joining him in that protest really wanted to do. They wanted to highlight the gap of the promise of the anthem.
And also, isn't the idea to sell magazines? That's always the bottom line. And so probably they figure Kaepernick is not on a team right now, and he's not in your face, and so they're selling magazines, like those swimsuits. I wonder they weren't all in bathing suits.
Yeah, but you can't. I agree with Sonny. You can't lose sight of the original message. I think with the Twitter wars this weekend and stuff, it became more of a, can I say piss?
Yeah.
Pissing contest. And so it was, so I think in that it became more anti-Trump than pro-movement.
Yeah.
And so I think it's losing the beauty of the message. And it's
I don't think the players have forgotten, and I actually don't think that the guys who own the teams, because I think what everyone has figured out is that if you have people of color on your team, your guys have gone through this. They understand this. And so when they're standing with solidarity, they're standing arm in arm. And I think that that's all great. The new guy in the White House took this and made it something that it wasn't.
Yes.
He made it about things that it was not about. But I have to tip my dreads to all of it. You know, to all of those teams and teammates who, you know, this is not an easy thing to do. And I've been listening the last couple of days to all these people talking about, oh, how these guys are making all this money and they should be grateful. Let me tell you something. You know, these men are working. They're not, you're not giving them anything. They're working. They're losing brain power. They're losing body power. They're getting smashed around. So don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. They should not be grateful to you. You should be grateful that they are standing for something as opposed to jiving around, standing for nothing.
You know, I love the point you just made, Whoopi, because last night I spoke to a professional athlete who is very, very smart, went to an incredibly difficult college, and he said, you know, I'm tired of people telling me that I should just shut up, like I should just leave my brain on the field. Because the bottom line is I am the perfect messenger for this, because but for sports, I would have fallen to the systemic racial prejudices that exist in this country. Sports saved me, but that's where I come from. So why shouldn't I talk about it? And I thought, wow, that was really powerful.
But like sports figures have always been political. I mean, from the beginning of the 20th century, the middle of the 20th century, around the 30s, with Jesse Owens being a runner during the Olympics held in Berlin during the Hitler regime, and showing them that the black guy won, basically, over their so-called Aryan runners.
And what about
Buchanan, Muhammad Ali?
Muhammad
Ali's quote is worth saying, because he was just, when they drafted him into the Vietnam War, he said, they never called me the N-word. They never lynched me. They didn't put dogs on me. How can I shoot them poor people? Just take me to jail. And that's Muhammad Ali. He spoke up against injustice and prejudice. It's always been the sportsmen who do this.
Well, it ties into that whole saying of, like, why celebrities use their platforms for politics. And I remember Kerry Washington was here at the show, and she said something. She goes, just because I'm a celebrity and have a platform doesn't make me less of an American citizen. And having people that are actively participating is what makes this a successful democracy. And so anyone in the same situation would do that.
The right wing in this country also is always saying the Hollywood elite have no right to speak. Now they're saying sports people too. I mean, who speaks? Just them? Who's allowed?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Oh.
You know, and just so we're really have another idea about this, you know, for everyone that's telling players to keep their politics off the field, in 2011, the U.S. military started paying millions to the NFL to stage patriotic tributes on the field in order to boost recruitment. So this is not something that anybody would choose to do unless it really moved them, because this means endorsements. It means a lot of stuff.
So much.
If you're willing to take a knee to say, listen, I'm seeing something and it's wrong, why wouldn't you listen to that? Why wouldn't you hear that?
Their background is where they come from. They're the perfect messengers for it.
We're all the perfect messengers, because we said, whether it's if someone in tennis decided she was going to take a knee because of the way women are treated. I mean, there are so many people saying, listen, I'm seeing it. And I need to show you that I'm seeing it. And then they do their jobs. And people are saying, oh, we're going to burn your jerseys. Listen, it's football. You're not going to burn a season ticket. Come on, you know how much money they cost? You're not burning jack.
But they have been. That's what's so crazy. I saw all these people burning their season tickets and but
they didn't show you that it was like for next week's game.
No, they didn't. But it doesn't make sense to me, because they already paid for the tickets, so people already got the money.
People are wasting their money.
It's a few people.
You know, it's just, you know, it's kind of crazy. In any case, there's more stuff to talk about. We'll be back.
As Puerto Rico struggles to survive its worst disaster ever, Governor Ricardo Rossello is live to reveal if his homeland will ever be the same again. Tomorrow on The View. Okay, we've got a pretty good show for you. Because look who's stopping by.
It's Larry. Larry David.
Get over yourself.
So what'll happen when Larry faces the ladies?
This is chaos.
Come on, man! Get ready to laugh. Tomorrow on The View.
The governor of Puerto Rico is so thankful for the great job that we're doing. We did a great job in Texas, a great job in Florida, a great job in Louisiana. We hit little pieces of Georgia and Alabama. And frankly, we're doing, and it's the most difficult job because it's on the island. It's on an island in the middle of the ocean. It's out in the ocean. You can't just drive your trucks there from other states. And the governor said we are doing a great job.
That's the assessment coming out of D.C. about the devastation in Puerto Rico. And right now we're getting a first-hand account live from San Juan. Sonny, you have family there, so you should take the lead on this.
Thank you, Whoopi. Well, it has been 1 week since Hurricane Maria almost destroyed Puerto Rico. Millions are still desperate for clean water, electricity, and life-saving supplies. And joining us now from San Juan is the governor of Puerto Rico, Ricardo Rossello. Welcome, Governor. Welcome.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Now, Governor, I've mentioned many times my mother's family is from Puerto Rico. We have family members that are still on the island, and we are just devastated by the images that we're seeing of our Isla del Encanto. So you've described the situation there as the biggest catastrophe in Puerto Rico's history. Tell us, what is the condition of the island right now?
Well, right now, Sonny, the whole island, the infrastructure is devastated. This hurricane has hit every corner of Puerto Rico. We have no energy grid. We have little access to water. We have to take that water to the people of Puerto Rico. But we're working closely with the federal government to make sure that we have all of our efforts ongoing and that we can respond to this emergency. It is critical that we get more help. We have limitations by being an island. We can't get them those resources through roads. So our ask is to continue this collaboration and make sure that we save people's life. And of course, once we pass the emergency, get Puerto Rico back in the path to rebuilding stronger than ever.
So, Governor, it's whooping. Who's the most at risk right now? Is it children? Is it the elderly? Who do we have to really make sure we take first precedence for?
Some delay.
Well, certainly most vulnerable, children, the elderly, and those that are in hospitals. This is why we've made a priority to deliver diesel fuel to hospitals and to super shelters that are going to have, the elderly and kids, so we can make sure that they have water, food, and that their medical needs are met. We're also getting the USS Comfort over here to Puerto Rico, which can host up to 1,000 patients. That'll be significant help. And we've established a logistical platform. We've already made sure that 29 out of the 69 hospitals in Puerto Rico are working, that they're getting fuel, and that if there are emergencies, we can have them come to San Juan airlifted for more serious events.
Hi, Governor. This is Sarah. Earlier, we saw a clip of President Trump saying the White House is doing a, quote, great job. How do you think they're doing in terms of response so far, and do you think it's enough?
Well, certainly, here's the two components that we need to consider. Number one, the president has been in contact with me almost on a daily basis. So he is aware of the devastation, and I thank him for, issuing pre-land emergency declarations, for issuing a disaster zone declaration verbally as the storm was hitting Puerto Rico. He has also given instructions to FEMA and other federal agencies to help Puerto Rico. So that effort is ongoing, and it's very good, and it's very effective. However, there are some logistical threats that we're facing. A lot of the people in Puerto Rico that used to, say, for example, truck gas or food from one place to the other have not reported. So the logistical transportation of the help that's arriving to Puerto Rico is kind of becoming a bottleneck. And what we really need are some human resources, which we've requested, and FEMA has established the Corps of Engineers and special forces from the DOD that are going to be coming to Puerto Rico so they can help in transportation, medical safety, they can help with fuel lines, they can help in a whole host of things. So I know it is a challenging situation, and let me put it in this context. This is the biggest, the most devastating event in the history of Puerto Rico. 2 Category 5 hurricanes, Category 4 or 5 hurricanes, passing in the span of 2 weeks. But we, the U.S. citizens that live in Puerto Rico, the proud U.S. citizens that live in Puerto Rico, wanna work, wanna deal with the emergency, but we also are looking forward for a special aid package from Congress. And I call upon Congress to act quickly. A lot of messages of solidarity by congressmen and congresswomen. I've spoken personally to them. Our ask is that we treat Puerto Rico equally, that we attend to the devastation, and if we do that, we can avoid a humanitarian crisis in the United States and put Puerto Rico back in the path to recovery, and in the long run, build it stronger than ever.
Thank you, Governor. Governor, people are desperate to get in touch with their loved ones. Do you have any idea when they'll be able to reach them, or what else they can do to find out if their loved ones are okay?
Yes, well, so this is one of the great challenges. Once your energy grid, which was old and unmaintained, completely collapsed, a lot of things that depend on energy also fall with it. Telecommunications has fallen. We started recouping that telecommunications. We're about at a 30% recuperation rate. We are working with the private companies to make sure they can bring floating antennas. We were just told a couple of minutes ago that a few of the providers are going to bring floating antennas, which are going to get that access to different and remote parts of the island. We are personally going to all of the municipalities. I just came from an area that was desolated, and aside from taking water, food, and some other essential basic needs, I also took a a sat phone so that the mayor or the leader of the community could start communicating and make sure that we have established that communication. You wouldn't believe how many communities I go to where people give me their phone numbers, their names, phone numbers of their relatives, and I have to come later at night and call those relatives just to let them know that they're okay. So we're working diligently, slowly but surely it'll materialize, but I can understand the anxiety of not hearing from loved ones. Personally, I didn't hear from my parents 2 days after the storm, so I can only imagine what it's like not hearing from your loved ones, you know, a week after the storm.
Tell me, sir, what is your assessment as far as when Puerto Ricans will be able to get back to their normal lives? You know, when will they get power back? That seems to be a major problem right now.
Well, the level of devastation in the power grid is unprecedented. Essentially, our whole power grid has been devastated. Transmission lines were completely destroyed. To give you sort of a comparative, when Irma came through Puerto Rico, none of the transmission towers was broken. Right now, we have dozens, maybe 50 transmission towers that have been completely destroyed. We're looking for creative alternatives to restore power, but certainly we can't do it in the traditional way. And what we want to do, and I know we're still in the emergency phase, but looking forward is after this tragedy, after this catastrophe, we need to rethink how to build and how to make our community safer and how to prepare for some of these disasters. So I think the people of Puerto Rico are very resilient. You'll see it. We'll be standing up, we'll be working, and we'll use this to make sure that we get those funds built better than ever, and we have, technology, better grids for energy, better access for our people. So although I know that at the current moment we're dealing with the emergency, in the long run, as we start building through the process of reconstruction, our focus should be to rebuild better than ever using technology and being very innovative.
Thank you so much, Governor Ricardo Rosselló. Our prayers are with you and the people of Puerto Rico. And of course, you, our viewers, can help those affected by Hurricane Maria by visiting the redcross.org at /ABC, calling 1-800-RED-CROSS, or texting the word Maria to 90999 to make a $10 donation. We'll be right back.
A glimpse into the future of Modern Family.
So there was welcome back. There was a runoff between two Republican candidates in Alabama yesterday, and one was backed by the new guy in the White House, and the other was backed by the former president, Mr. Bannon. So Luther Strange is the gentleman who the new guy was going to bat for, and he lost. But the gentleman that won is an Alabama guy. He's a former Chief Justice. His name is Roy Moore. He was backed by Steve Bannon, as I said, and he's got quite the pedigree.
Oh, my
He's
God.
a birther.
Well, he thinks gay marriage should be illegal.
Yes.
Gay conduct, not just gay marriage.
When he says that homosexuals shouldn't be parents.
That's right.
Clearly, he's not viewing the heterosexual people that are parents around him. If that's a requirement for good parenting, then we really need to be more observant.
Yes.
He says that Obama wasn't born here. He's presidential material, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was fired as Chief Justice on the Alabama State Supreme Court after refusing federal orders to remove the Ten Commandments monument from the court. Now, so you know who loves to tweet. We know this.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
But he removed his tweet because it backed the loser.
Yeah. He deleted several of them.
The tweets.
But screenshots last forever.
So the question is, should the new guy be worried? Should we be more concerned? I will say that he's just the nominee. There will be a Democratic opponent.
Yeah.
When the
But it's Alabama. It's like it's like that movie.
Don't say it because I got people from Alabama, so be very careful.
Well, I'm saying it's Alabama is a strictly red state.
Yeah.
It's been a red state for a long time. I'm just saying.
Sometimes it's
not
a red
casting
state,
aspersions against the people in Alabama. I worry about them.
They were saying this was a big Bannon versus Trump moment, and the scariest thing to wake up to is a Bannon victory. And so knowing that he backed this guy is scary, but I think the more concerning part is that people are voting people like this gentleman in. This is a man that wants to but he passed one test, was one test too many for me. But he wants to legislate religion, and one thing we talk about a lot on this show is the beauty of this country is that we're all so different and we believe in different things. The second you start to legislate one religion, you cannot legislate religion and have a
the minute you start legislating one religion, it makes us no different than the people we're fighting.
Yeah. Well, because there's the separation of church and state always, right?
Well,
they're supposed to be.
Supposed to be.
I think
everything's being questioned all of a sudden. First Amendment, church and state. All of a sudden they're turning the
free.
Yeah.
I mean,
all sorts
he's
of stuff.
very radical. he's very radical, and so I wonder what that means in terms of his special election. Does it mean that this country is going in that direction? I mean, he's the guy that had that little gun, that little white gun, and he was like waving it around.
Let me introduce you to my little friend.
Yeah, he was doing all of this. And if
little friend.
If that is what is attractive, I wonder what that message is.
He said that growing atheism is to blame for 9/11. So this is the guy that actually received votes. And they won
the majority of the votes.
To me, this should be the scarier part, not what Trump has to say about it. It's kind of reassuring that he didn't like this guy, maybe. But
what does it mean?
Yeah, but this is really scary.
It means people have to really pay attention.
And they got to vote. People who don't believe in this stuff have got to get out there.
The greatest thing, as you said, is that we celebrate our differences.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what makes America great, is that we're not all the same. We don't look the same. We don't sound the same. But hey, we're all Americans.
He thinks that the Quran and Mein Kampf are the same thing. What are the chances that he's read any of that?
We'll be right back. Enough of this politics. It's too heavy. Let's talk about some real stuff. Reportedly, there is a baby boom happening with the Kardashian girls. After the tabloids claim Kim is expecting through a surrogate and half-sister Kylie Jenner is pregnant, now they say Khloe has one on the way too. They're just like all over the place.
I know. I'm really excited for Khloe. She's talked for years about infertility. She hasn't been able to... I can't look at you with that face. She has. She's talked a lot about getting pregnant and how much she wants to, so I'm really...
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
We talked about baby envy on the show this week, I think, right? Imagine all her sisters are pregnant, her brother just had a baby, and now she's...
They're keeping up with the Kardashians.
Right? You get a baby, you get a baby, you get a baby.
I already have a card. It's a one-size-fits-all. Look at this. Congratulations, Kim, Khloe, Kylie. We just made Kendall pregnant as well. That's not true, though. And it's a millionaire. All things my baby cards never say.
Well, here's another reason I'm glad I'm not dating right now. I didn't know that. And on the heels of trends like ghosting and zombieing and submarining, there's a whole bunch of stuff. This is when you're seeing someone, and explain it to me, because it doesn't make any sense.
So it's like zombieing, but like with zombieing, you come back and you make an excuse for why you were gone. Submarining, you just pop back up. It's like you were out to sea, now I'm back. No explanation needed.
But no explanation. But how do you take someone back when they've submarined you? Because you need to know why they ghosted you in the first place, or they zombied you.
Maybe you didn't get rid of. Maybe you got rid of them, and they're just stalking you.
And that's never the case, Joy.
Maybe.
They're submarining you, and you got rid of them. Now they pop up. That sounds scary.
Do I just turn this into a 2020?
I know.
No, it's much more innocent. They just disappear because sometimes they've stashed, which means they have other people on the bench, and they're dancing over here, and then they come back because
What
you're
are you talking about?
That's, yeah. Stashing is another term.
Stashing
You
is
stash
another
one
term.
time. But wouldn't you be upset if you got zombied, right? And somebody gives you an excuse, but then you get submarine, and you don't even tell the person what the explanation, like who's going to take somebody back that's submarined them?
Dating can be a desperate situation. As a former dater, I can speak to that.
Yep, and
I may take them back. It depends on how much I like them before they submarine me.
And there you go. And especially if you have a cushion, because if you have a cushion, then you got a little something on the side.
You got a little something on the side.
And you're okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know something we do want to let folks know? An amazing thing happened in the world yesterday. An amazing thing. Something that we never thought we would see. And so we want to send congratulations to the women of Saudi Arabia who are finally in the driver's seat, literally, for the first time. Women. For the first time, women will be able to drive. I think that's wonderful.
You know what struck me when I read that? I thought, here's a bunch of women who have never driven, and still they drive better than I do.
Yes. Yes.
You plow into one farmer's stand, and they call you a bad driver for the rest of your life.
Yes, but you are a rotten driver. If there was like, this stinks in driving, your picture would be there.
But I used to be.
It's terrible. You're terrible.
I used to be good.
What happened?
I've been infantilized by my husband.
Ah.
Yes.
Joy, you also said during
he
commercial, I
drives you
can't
everywhere.
read the prompter. It's so far away. That's about where you should be with a car.
We'll be right back. You don't want to hear the rest of this.
Sofia Vergara heats up the table right after this. This week on The View, what happens when Larry David, Kristen Chenoweth, Adam Scott, and Craig Robinson hit the table? #crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's getting hot, and the topics are too.
Right? Come on.
It's all this week on
The View, y'all.
on ABC.
She's the funniest and hottest mom on TV, and she's back for the new season of Modern Family. Please welcome Sofia Vergara.
Thank you so much for having me today.
I recognize her. She looks like a teenager with these bangs.
I look like a Muppet with this thing.
I don't think
I look like a Muppet. If there was a Muppet at the table, it's me. Okay?
No, me.
I want to start off by talking about the Emmys. You posted some fun pictures on Instagram. I think we have a couple of them here. So
I had a
tell us
great
about that. What is happening?
I think every woman that has been at the Emmys have gone through that. It's not,
Get out the car.
It's like those dresses, they look amazing, but they're like,
Can you breathe?
I can't breathe, I can't eat, I can't sit. It was like one time, like the first Emmy that I went, I had such a tight dress, and it was my first Emmy, so I was like a little bit like nervous to tell the designer, can you get it? Nothing, because it's like maybe they take away the dress from me, so I'm like, whatever you want, I'll wear, whatever. And the whole time I'm sitting like this. I couldn't bend my, like this. And so I was at the parties like this alone. I didn't know much people. And Lorraine Schwartz, which is like a jewelry designer, suddenly she comes near me and she tells me, it's like, you're the most elegant. You look, the way I've been looking at you all night, the way you sit like a movie star. Is it? And I'm like, yes. It was was so ridiculous. Like, now she became my friend, and she always laughed at that because I literally couldn't bend. I was like just like a stiff loaf of like French bread. It was like,
you should actually ride on the top of the limo when they take you, because it's the only way you can, then you can slide off the top. It's terrible.
Well,
but it's fun. It's part of the fun.
Yes.
Well, you brought your son Manolo.
I brought him.
He's 25. You brought him 26 now to the Emmys because your husband couldn't make it.
Yes.
Twitter went crazy. They lost their minds over how handsome he is. So handsome. So here's just a little bit of what people were saying. People said Sofia Vergara's hot son Manolo is the best thing on the Emmy.
Oh,
Somebody else said Sofia Vergara, is your son single? Sofia Vergara's Emmy date is smoking hot.
I love that they thought it was your side date.
Yeah.
Joe's busy, I've got a side boo.
My backup.
How did that make you feel?
I mean, I'm very proud. I love it. I always tell him, when you're in a tuxedo, you look very distinguished. Like an elegant, old-fashioned movie star. He was very happy. He loves going with me to events, and I usually take not only him, I take like a lot of people. So it's like this time I only had like 17, but I had groups that are like 24, 25, and
really?
but so I plan it in advance. I get all the tickets because everybody want to be together in the same group in the seats.
Seats,
but it's like it's fun, I feel like I need to take advantage of these, moments, because when you're in a hit show, you don't know how long that's gonna last. So I try to take advantage of every little moment, every red carpet.
You should.
Yeah, you have to. You can't think of it as a torture, because then it's like being ungrateful. Yeah.
Well, it's only torture when you have to go to the bathroom. Speaking of which, I want to talk about your underwear.
I'm not gonna show you my underwear.
Well, I just wanted to talk about it because there's such beautiful pictures of you out here in underwear. There you go.
Oh, look at that.
And so, this is your latest business venture, and it has special meaning, right? Tell everybody.
I will show you my underwear.
Show me those drawers, girl.
I'm super excited because, I've been looking for this project for a long time. I've been working in Hollywood now for like 9, 10 years. I've been, working, making money, being part of endorsements. I get like opportunities all the time. Like, you want to do this, join that. And it's like I didn't want to sell underwear. And it found me. It was the perfect project. Yeah, it was like, the underwear is like perfection. Like, I've never had a better underwear ever. And I'm like, I told a woman that approached me, Renata, another Colombian, with the project, and I'm like, I mean, you can't reinvent the wheel in the underwear. It's like, what is it gonna be?
Can, girl.
And she did. It's like there's always a new wheel. It's perfection, and we have all sizes. Not only small, medium, large. We have until 4X.
It doesn't creep up your butt.
No, it doesn't roll. It doesn't creep. It doesn't do anything. It just to make you look good. I mean, I would show you, but
Stay tuned for tomorrow.
But then, what made me even more fall in love with the project was that she told me that what we were going to do was, with the sales of the underwear, we were going to give 10% of the net to empower women in other countries to open their own little business.
That's important.
Because, I appreciate as a woman what it means to have your own money, to be independent. I mean, that's what drove me, you say? What's driven me through all my life, because I was a single mother very young, and I wanted to have money to take Manolo to the best schools, to, for trips, for healthcare, to get some of my family from Colombia. And I think now that I have money, now that I'm in this position, I wanted a project that I could, also try to help women get their own money. And so we're going to give the women in Colombia, we're going to give the money, the loans. Then, because of what has happened here this month in the United States, that it's been crazy, we're going to empower women here in the United States. So we're going to give the loans to the women.
I hate to leave this because this is so important, but I want to switch gears and talk really quickly about Modern Family.
Yes.
Because the season premieres tonight, and you guys take a family trip to Lake Tahoe, and we have a clip.
Yay!
Feels like we're in San Tropez.
I don't trust lakes. Where I come from, this is where we dump drugs and dead bodies.
You know what? I am going to give you a little boat tour and show you this lake in all of its glory, but you need to keep an open mind.
Okay, fine. Let's ride around the liquid graveyard. Eric is the best. I mean, you can't keep a straight face when you're filming with that in front of you.
No.
It's like, what was that? I mean, I didn't even know what it was. It looked like a nun, like a geisha. Like, I mean, what are you? It was a really fun because, you know, we had to travel, all of us, the cast, so we were like stuck together and it was really fun.
Well, thank you so much to Sofia Vergara. The season premiere of Modern Family airs tonight at 9 p.m. right here on ABC, and we will be right back.
Find those on.
Tomorrow, do not curb your enthusiasm, because Larry David is live on The View. And throwing back Thursday to some funny business with Joy.
Hey! So once again, you know, we've had a pretty good day. We talked about interesting stuff and hopefully saying good stuff that'll help people smile more and maybe reach out to Puerto Rico and find out what we can do to help. And thanks for watching and thanks for coming. And we want you all to have a great day and take a little time to enjoy The View.